Hello there and welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1. You're joining me, David Paldano. Now, before we head into your stories in more detail, let's first take a look at the headlines this afternoon. JVB moves court opposing importation of vehicles for MPs. Protest continues against fuel price hike. 30 vials of the Sinopharm vaccine go missing. Russia and US seek to rebuild diplomatic ties. Now taking a look at one of your headline-making stories, members of the Panadura Pradesha Sabha representing the Janata Vimukti Peramuna staged a protest against the hike in fuel prices. 4 Pradesha Sabha members of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna had staged the protest against the fuel price hike as monthly sittings began at the local authority. Our correspondent reported that Panadura Pradesha Sabha chairman Hemanta Fernando had instructed the media to leave the chamber during the protest. The members of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna had then staged the protest outside the chamber. Before the prices of fuel were hiked, global prices were dipping. They did not pass on that benefit to the people. When the people are destitute, when the people cannot afford to eat, purchase new clothes, fund the education of their children, and their economic status is in shambles, they are attempting to import vehicles. Even the food you eat in Parliament must be donated. All the benefits you receive, including fuel allowances, must be suspended. Do not make the people your slaves. The people are cursing you. That curse will fall on everyone. Before you sleep each night, reflect on your actions and assess whether you acted in the best interest of the people or simply to your benefit.
පටු දේවල් මං ඉස්ස කරගත්තද ඒවා හොඳට කල්පනා කරලා බලන්න හක්කේ බුදුරැස් බොක්කේ දඩමස්.
A state minister had said the prices of fuel would not have been hiked had Basil Rajapaksa been in the country. This decision was taken by a committee which comprises of Basil's brothers and his nephews. I do not know whether he had a mechanism to control fuel prices. When he does arrive in the country over the next few days, as a general public, we would appreciate his mechanism to reduce fuel prices. The only concern of the people is whether the prices of fuel would be reduced. They do not want to console ministers or MPs. This decision can be reversed during tea time at a certain household. Do not act out dramas by pitting pawns against each other. I do not know if Basil Rajapaksa is the all-powerful entity here. We can expect a new drama when Basil arrives in the country and reduces the prices of fuel.
නාටකයක් එළිදැක්වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් හෙට අනිද්දා බැසිල් මහත්තයා ඇවිල්ලා ගොඩ වැහැලා තෙල් මිල අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් එතකොට.
Now keeping up with more headline-making stories, the Police Crimes Unit of the Gaul Division has launched an investigation into the incident where 30 vials of the Sinopharm vaccine was stolen. Media spokesperson of police DIG Ajrohana said the Habaraduwa medical officer of health had notified the police of the theft. The complaint adds the driver and minor staff members attached to the office should be held responsible for the theft of the vials, which are around 90,000 rupees in value.
The medical officer of health Habaraduwa has made a complaint against a driver and minor employees of Habaraduwa MOH office in respect of a theft of 30 doses of Sinopharm vaccine. The value of 30 doses is 90,000 rupees according to the complaint, and Habaraduwa OIC has initiated investigation into the incident. In addition to that, a special team has been deployed by the SSP Gaul in order to conduct further investigation into the theft, and the officers of Divisional Crime Detective Bureau have been deployed to record statements in respect of the incident, and accordingly OIC Habaraduwa and Divisional Crime Detective Bureau GOAL are conducting further investigations.
Now shifting your attention to the current COVID-19 update in the country, the total COVID-19 caseload in Sri Lanka has risen to 230,691 following the detection of 2,419 COVID-19 patients yesterday. The Department of Government Information announced last night that 59 people had died due to COVID-19 on Tuesday, the 15th of June. The deaths include 28 women and 31 men, raising the COVID-19 death toll in the country to 2,374. 94,145 people have recovered from the virus, while 34,232 continue to remain under medical care. Now, keeping up with more local news, 3 foreign experts have arrived to assess the damage caused to Sri Lankan waters due to the fire that erupted on the Express Pearl vessel.
The Marine Environment Protection Authority said that the foreign expert would assess the damage with the assistance of local experts. According to MIPA, the experts are specialized in assessing damage caused by maritime accidents to the oceans. The foreign experts, who are of French and Swiss nationalities, had arrived based on a request by Sri Lankan government. Marine Environment Protection Authority officials said the EU is sponsoring their visit. The National Aquatic Resource Research and Development Agency, or NARA, is also probing the damage caused by the Express Pearl fire to marine resources and the ocean. The quality of the water in that area is also to be tested.
2 boats suspected to be from India have been beached at the Udapur beach in Chilau.
Media spokesperson of the Sri Lankan Navy, Captain Indika De Silva, said Navy patrols had discovered the boats this morning. He added the boats, which are 30 feet in length and 6 feet in width, are not usually used by Sri Lankan fishermen. The engines of the boats have been removed recently. The Sri Lankan Navy has notified the Udapur police on the matter.
Leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, participated in the Straight Talk program hosted by Vion News India and expressed the following views.
In 2020, Sri Lanka's economy contracted 3.6%, and a report from the World Bank claims that Sri Lanka's publicly guaranteed debt has now increased to more than 109% of the GDP. Recently, Bangladesh extended a $200 million loan to Sri Lanka. Is your country headed towards bankruptcy?
I would not like to think so, but when one examines the current trends and the economic trajectory, life does not look too rosy. It looks pretty alarming. I think we need to have more pragmatic, practical approach to economic management, and I hope the relevant authorities have a change of course and try to think anew in a unique manner when it comes to economic management.
And one of the fallouts of the economic crisis is China's increasing influence. Last month, the Sri Lankan government decided to go ahead with the controversial $1.4 billion Colombo Port City project that will be funded by the Chinese. Is Sri Lanka sinking further into China's grip and the debt trap?
Well, Sri Lanka is a proud nation state. We, as a people, we are proud of our culture. We are proud of our multiculturalism. We are proud of our heritage. We are proud of our history. And as Sri Lankans, we would never, ever be keen on being subjugated to any other state or non-state actor. Basically speaking, Sri Lankans don't like international interference, whether it's from a particular political bloc or from an individual nation state. We sacredly protect our country's political independence, territorial integrity, sovereignty, and unitary character. And we as a country, we want to stand up our own feet. We have the self-discipline, we have the capability, and we have the strength as a people to stand up on our own feet. There is absolutely no necessity for any administration to go around the world with a begging bowl, whereas Sri Lankans themselves are able to look after their own business. And one thing I want to make clear, the psyche and the thinking of Sri Lankan people is that we don't want foreign interference from wherever it may.
So you're saying that there is foreign interference? You've not answered my question. Is Sri Lanka sinking further into China's grip?
Well, Sri Lanka has always strived to have very direct, productive, progressive, constructive relations with all countries. We are a non-aligned country. We are a country with no alignments. So just as much as we value our relationship with India, we also value our relationship with China and the rest of the world. And we would like to have always a productive relationship, which is of mutual benefit. And more, what we see is Sri Lanka's internal national agenda being decided by external factors. And as Sri Lankans, we don't like it.
The Consumer Affairs Authority has filed a case in court over the sale of gas cylinders with reduced quantities. The defendants are facing charges of misleading the consumer. The Consumer Affairs Authority had filed a case at the Malikakanda Magistrates Court against the sale of gas cylinders with reduced quantities. The case had been filed against Litrogas Lanka, a store in Colombo too, and a supplier in Vattala that were involved in the sale of these gas cylinders. Summons were issued on the defendants yesterday. The case is to be taken up on the 28th of October. In another one of your headline-making stories, the Janata Vimukti Perumana filed a petition with the Supreme Court against moves to import vehicles for parliamentarians.
The government said that it had decided to suspend the decision to import vehicles for parliamentarians, but some ministers had said that the letters of credit opened for this purpose cannot be cancelled. The problem that we would be raising through the petition is whether the government has the strength to make these decisions. Legally, there is a problem with this decision as well. That is because they say that there is no turning back since the letters of credit cannot be cancelled. The cabinet made its decision on the 18th. The cancellation was made on the 24th of May, but the letters of credit had been opened on the 22nd of April. How can they open letters of credit before receiving cabinet approval on this? This highlights that they are trying to import the vehicles amidst the pandemic. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that the request made by the Excise Department for online sales of liquor was rejected. The Army Commander said he had rejected this request as the Commander-in-Chief of the COVID-19 Prevention Task Force. Now, COVID-19 has hampered the ability of many students to engage in educational activities in Sri Lanka, particularly those who are unable to attend online tuition without even a mobile device. However, 3 spirited students had resorted to cultivating a green gram farm to fund a mobile phone to further their education online. But now they are in dire straits as a result of the lack of fertilizer to cultivate their field.
The Leitingada village in the Mathale district is a downtrodden village. Residents of the village toil hard each day to satisfy their hunger. In such circumstances, engaging in online education is all but a dream for the children in the village. But the indomitable spirit of these children spurred them to start a green gram cultivation to facilitate their education. One of the students, who are all pupils of the Maraka Mahavidyalaya in Bilgamur, will sit for their GCE O-level exam this year. Both their parents are mute, while the father is suffering from kidney disease. The lack of fertilizer in the country has posed another challenge to their ambitions.
I borrow a phone from my neighbors or relatives to attend online classes. I cannot attend classes regularly. Therefore, me and my brother decided to cultivate green gram. We hope to sell the produce and purchase a mobile phone. My parents want me to be successful when I grow up.
The
shortage of fertilizer has affected the growth of plants. Our crops have been infected by a disease as well. We are unable to repay our debts. Our hard work has gone in vain.
අපේ රටේ ලක්ෂ 45ක
Nearly 4.5 million children have been affected at present. The academic activities of these students have been disrupted. What are the steps taken by the government and the Education Ministry to address the situation? What steps have been taken for 15 months? We haven't seen authorities roll out a feasible plan during this period.
ඒ වාර්තාවේ මොනවද අඩංගු වෙන්නේ? ඒ හරහා කොහොමද මේ දරුවන්ගේ අධ්‍යාපනය නගා සිටුවන්නේ කියන කාරණට දාලා යෝජන අදහස් මොනවද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ මේ වෙනකම්.
And with that, we wrap up lunchtime news here on TV1. For more news, log on to our award-winning website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm David Paldano. Take care.